Hello and welcome to the art classroom. You guys, if you're using acrylics, this is your little tutorial today. Yes, Trin for you, and I try to keep the colors in rainbow color order, so please put them back in red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet when you're done. And you can see on my palette here, I've squeezed out red and yellow make orange, so I'm gonna mix those there. Green is made by mixing blue and yellow, so I left a little space right there. So red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, which is purple, and violet, which is pink, a shade of. Then that was just squeezed out yesterday, it's hard. Then I have some black and white to mix there. All right, so the question was how to do the control drip in acrylic. So I'm gonna show you if you have your drawing done based on, this is a volcano in Guatemala, that's where I became a Christian, on that peak, warming up by lava, and there's my animal, my dog, for my foreground, middle ground, background. I'm gonna do sky. So we're gonna start, after we pencil draw, get your right tools, your large and your small brush. I am going to do a pink sunset, because that's my favorite, and you guys wanna use personal expression and do your favorite. So I'm gonna start with the lightest color, and I'm getting pink with a little bit of white to make it a little lighter. Then I'm gonna mix red with white because I kind of like the shade of pink that looks a little more rose. It's a little bit hot pink. So you wanna use your palette to mix your favorite color. Then you use water and you spread it with a lot of water. And just like with the control drip with watercolor, when you're working with acrylic, if you use lots of water, you can go right over your pencil lines, and afterwards you'll be able to see it. It'll be see-through. If you can though, you can go around your pencil line, and then you're gonna see when we drip it, it's gonna go right on top and you will be able to see it later. All right, so I'm starting with my pink down here, and I'm gonna slowly go up to my favorite colors. And if you do water, or I'm doing clouds here, the sky is reflected in white, which is gonna be my puffy clouds down here, and it's also reflected in water. So you want to do some reflection as you have your colors out in the sky for a natural look. Okay, next I'm going to add some purple to my pink, and I'm going to slowly go from light to dark. And this is called tone, you guys. You want to use at least 3 different tones I've taught you guys to have dimension in your art. So I'm going to add some purple with pink here, and I'm going to slowly do circularization and blending together with a lot of water before I start rocking it and dripping it together. I'm gonna add a little bit reflection down here. And it's still my brush. Now I'm gonna end with making my favorite color, just like you wanna make your favorite color. I'm gonna mix a little blue with purple. Light blue and light purple is periwinkle. And I'm gonna do some periwinkle up there. And if I mix it with white, it'll get a little lighter, but I didn't wanna go really dark and thick with my acrylics. I wanna use water. Just like you can with watercolor, you could do a see-through watercolor wash. Either way, when you're done, even if you're doing your canvas with watercolor, you still want to end with spraying it with clear spray paint. You could get it from Home Depot, Lowe's. Michael's Crafts charges a little more for clear because they call it fixative, because you want to protect your masterpiece when you're done. All right, so I'm adding my darker color up top, going right over the edge, because this is called gallery wrap canvas, and if you paint right over the edge, that takes away the need to have to frame it. Now what I'm gonna do is notice how I'm using my palette and I'm mixing my colors here, making sure I like the shade before I bring it up here. Oh, I gotta get my periwinkle reflected down here. All right. If you want to, you could be following along with this lesson. And Trin, one of my amazing art students, said, Mrs. Smith, how can you do the acrylic in the see-through watercolor wash with the control drip? That doesn't work like watercolor. So boom, baby, this is what we're doing together right now. You can join in with this lesson. You could stop and replay it. Remember, clean your brush, always have a tissue nearby. Get ready to rock it. Are you ready? See how wet it is first. I'm gonna start rocking it that way. See that drip? That's called the control drip. Now I'm gonna rock it down, across, down, over. Now I'm controlling that drip, just like a race car. It's going this way, now I'm gonna rock it that way. Now I'm rocking it this way. I don't want to let it drip to the ground because I want it to stay nice and bright. I don't want to lose all my bright colors. But notice when I'm dripping it, just like you're playing a video game and you're the race car, you're going to control where you drip it. See, the drip's going to go this way now because I'm tilting it. I'm going to, dripping off the edge now. So I'm gonna rock it back the other way. I don't wanna lose all my beautiful pigments. So I'm rocking it back and forth. See the way the drip's going? And then I'm gonna rock it down. But I don't wanna go straight down with my drip. So now I'm gonna go sideways again. So this is where you're controlling the drip. Thus the term, the control drip. Both watercolor, and now you're seeing it's also an acrylic painting technique. You could pretty much do with any media you use water with. You get that drip going. Now I don't want all the drips to go that direction. So what I'm gonna do, guys, tilt it. I'm gonna rock it. So you're rocking your drip, and you could also rock out with your favorite music doing art, hopefully, and show your personal expression. All right, once you rock it and you go back and forth, if it's still dripping and it's going in the direction you don't like it, you gotta still rock it, guys. You can't just leave the drips going in a direction that's not natural, or it'll dry that way. Well, guess what we see there? I'm gonna get out my skinny brush for touch-ups, okay? What we can see is where Mrs. Smith did not add pigment. So I'm gonna add a little bit of color right there to cover the white of the canvas. And see that little pink spot? I'm gonna clean my brush, get a little more pink, get a little water, and do a little touch-ups. I'm gonna go like that with water and blend it. And this is where I'm gonna blend a little bit in my clouds. What I'm gonna do is let this dry. What I'm doing is circularization, going with water, just a little bit of circles in my clouds so they look a little more circular. And then what we're gonna end with, if you're doing clouds or water, is we're gonna overlay some blue on top. And you're not gonna have it like that. It looks ugly, right guys? What am I gonna add? Water. Okay, so we're ending with both the control drip in your clouds, in your sky. If you're doing a sunset, do it all your favorite colors. And then we're gonna add lots of water. And we're gonna end with a drip. So I'm not gonna finish this painting right now. I'm gonna let my sky dry. And I'm not gonna finish these clouds down here because I'm gonna add their detail when it's dry. But guess what? I wanna go right over that dog, I can. You could go right over it. And you could see the pencil right through it if you use enough water. All right? So I'm just going back and forth now, feathering in that direction. And since these are clouds, I'm gonna use a little white and yellow because I've been trying to teach you guys clouds have a little bit of shading under their underbelly, as Claude Monet most famously got with the poppies, his famous clouds. All right, so I'm gonna, like I said, finish this later. So watch for me to post that on Google Classroom. I don't wanna get my blue right touching the horizon line there because it's wet and it'll spread out. You see that beautiful sunset? That's what I want to teach you guys how to do. And so we'll end with what I'm gonna look at when this dries, when I do my next layer. And guys, watercolor, acrylic, anything, pastel, any media you choose, if you do layers, it's called layering, and it brings dimension and depth to your art. So I'm just gonna try to stop as much as I wanna keep working and let it dry. And I could do my next layer after I show you the Monet. Let's go to Claude Monet, one of the world's most famous artists, and let's show who's gonna inspire me and hopefully you to do those puffy clouds. All right, there's Monet, the poppies. And if you guys want to end with, like me, looking at one of the world's most famous artists for inspiration, I'm going to do the clouds having a little bit of that shading on the underbelly. Over and out from the art room. Can't wait to see yours.